Music Therapy Labs here on a magical Monday. Let's call it that because it is May 4th. May the 4th be with you all. I grew up on Star Wars. I remember seeing that movie when I was 12 years old. My dad picked us up from where my mom had us in the city in San Francisco at the Hungarian Center. And he took us to this movie. He heard about this like Star Battle movie. He didn't know what it was about, but it was supposedly good. And there was a long line, and so we were in this long line, and we didn't know what it was about. He knew we'd love it. And some guy comes up and says, "Hey, we have 5 seats. They're not right next to each other, but one in, two, three in front, three, whatever behind. And I can get you in. The movie's gonna start in like 5 minutes." And my dad said yes. So we were at, I think it's called the Coronet Theater, or maybe I'm wrong, on Gary Street in San Francisco, and we get in just as the last letters are pulling up at the description, the beginning of the first Star Wars, A New Hope, Episode 4. For those uninitiated. And anyway, it was really, really cool because right then the whole battle scene starts with the shooting of the, blah, blah, blah. So Darth Vader comes out, it was awesome. So after that summer, of course, we were Star Wars nuts. And we just started to go to this private school in Saratoga called Harker Academy, which is called Harker School now. A super expensive school. I'll tell you one thing I know from having gone to many different types of education, from public to private. I've experienced them all. Small town, Brisbane, California, elementary school, right? I remember preschool there too, and it was a really good preschool, I think, from age 4 or whatever on. And going through that elementary school and all the things about that, I can talk endlessly about the trials and tribulations and the good things, the good and the bad of that public education. And then, of course, going from that to Harker Academy, which is a top level school in the Bay Area. I think it's over $25,000 for a like middle schooler like I was, or elementary. I think they were all the way down to first grade or second grade at that school because my sister was there with us, and it was a boarding school, so there were a lot of diplomats kids at that school, and we had Persian kids in the dorms. They were from Iran, of course, but they were Persian. Some great memories of Shavrom, one of the young students who lived across the hall from me and my roommate, who I would love to meet someday if I could ever meet Duke Cox. That was his name, Dukecox. If I could ever meet him someday, that would be awesome. And then there was a Bill Randall, who was also another student that I was really good friends with. So, of course, I digress. We were really, really into the whole Star Wars thing, and everything was about the Force. On that Halloween, that October, after the first Star Wars came out, I was Luke Skywalker. I was a blonde kid with kind of longish hair. It's perfect. My mom made the outfits. My brother John was taller, dark haired, so he was the perfect, version for Han Solo. My sister was a cute, short, she was the youngest, brunette, beautiful brunette girl. So she was Princess Leia. And unfortunately, my brother Andrew always got the worst end of a lot of these things, the middle child, right, the third child. Andrew, we made him be Chewbacca. Poor guy. We should have made him Obi-Wan, right? That's what he should have been, Obi-Wan Kenobi, because that fits him now. But anyway, so we had an awesome time with Star Wars, and I thought I'd throw up a non-beta, but just a quick May the 4th be with you video to demonstrate how I pay for all this. So I'm going to lift up my tripod here. So all these wonderful guitars that I have, right? And that equipment there. All these wonderful pedals and bags of other pedals, and my keyboard I keep covered up, and all the equipment that see those two things right there. I'm going to hook those up, I swear to God. This week I'm going to hook those up. Anyway, I keep promising. But the bottom line is that, Star Wars was a big influence on me, even on a spiritual level, if you want to say, because I was raised Catholic, but I wasn't raised by staunch, like, whack you with rulers and spank you Catholics. I was raised by a mom and dad who were very loving. And my mother, of course, wanted to be a nun when she got out of high school, but she ended up going another direction because she felt like it just really, something wasn't quite fitting for her. So I'm glad that she didn't. I'm thus here. So what I wanted to show you guys is how I pay for all this stuff. So just like this guy Brad Miller here, who made this awesome card holder, which can actually be used as a pedal display, right? If you're doing like a pedal demo, you can stick it right in front of your 4x4 and your Strat with humbuckers, which is what I like. And there you go. Wasn't his intention, but I'm gonna put some some rubberized stuff here so it doesn't scratch up the pedals. But what I wanted to show you guys here is that years ago, it's been a while now. It's about 5 years ago. I started this company that didn't go anywhere, Sound Trap Designs, and I have on the card, artful acoustic treatments for any room, sounds as good as it looks. I was hoping to get into the business of doing acoustic treatments in rooms that were more aesthetically pleasing, let's say. And I was trying to get businesses to pony up some money for that as well. But the bottom line is that my only product that I have right now that's in any form of construction is my Soundtrap Designs guitar hangers right here, which this is a prototype of. I made for my sister's boyfriend, who now has a room to put it in, so they want me to bring it. So that's something I'd like to make as a product in the future that I can sell to musicians, and you can make them in different sizes for different guitars and blah blah blah. I'm gonna make one for Johnny Bean. I'm gonna make one for JJ's House of Jams, and I'm also making a case, a bag, actually a custom bag for my buddy Gary Big G Tholander, because he had a custom board made for him, but he can't carry it around with anything. He doesn't want to make a box for it. It's just going to make it that much heavier. He's a big guy, but he doesn't need extra weight to carry around, right? So I told him, hey, I've got all this extra Naugahyde materials around. I can make him a bag. So I'm going to make him a bag, but what I thought I'd show you is I've been working on some of these here in my studio shop. So this seconds as a studio and as a workshop. I actually do the fabrication in the back patio area here, or sometimes I do it over at my brother's house, but now with the COVID thing, I'm trying to avoid going over there. And basically what I'm doing is I've already covered this material, plywood and some other kind of cheap plywood, covered it with a material called Dacron, this fuzzy stuff. You see people using it in place of snow for Christmas tree snow. Right? You put it around the bottom of your Christmas tree. But you can get this in bulk if you're workroom. My mom orders this stuff in bulk. And basically all I'm doing is I'm using my handy dandy staple gun here. Got my compressor already compressed up. And this is going to be loud, so get ready. But I just staple this on. And I'm going to go all the way around, all the way along the top of this thing. I'm going to make sure it stretches. So I start from one end, I do a few like that, and then I'll slide it over a little bit. And then I'm going to stretch it out real good here like this. Staple it on this end over here. And that's why I have this tarp on top of this table. So when I'm working on this stuff, I don't scratch up the surface of that table. It's a studio desk that actually is on wheels that I have rack mounted stuff in and stuff. I have a Pod Pro rack in there, which I'll do a demo of and maybe do a versus with the HX Stomp that I have. So slide this as far as I can go. Stretch that over some so it's got a good stretch. Bend it down. That's it. And then I just start stapling the rest of this. Then I, fold this over, staple it closer to the edge here. And then I cut the access off. And I'll be right back. I'm going to bring you a finished product because I have finished one. Oh, I have to disconnect the, because I hooked this thing up to my, microphone up to myself so I wouldn't yank it out of the stand here. I'll be right back. Let me show you a finished one. They're wrapped up in plastic, but look pretty cool. So some of you might know that when my mom gave me a call and asked me, "Hey, do you want some extra work or some work during the COVID crisis?" And I said, "Yes, please." So I love fabricating and making things. Well, I have my Bluetooth ear thing, and I don't even know why. Well, because I was listening to stuff earlier. I was listening to Rhett Scholl's show. So here's a finished lambrequin. That's what they call these things. It goes like above the window, like over here. You put it like above a window, right? And then you can have draperies or shades or whatever hanging out underneath it, and it looks really good. This one has a special cording tacked onto the bottom of it, so the bottom edge has that brown cording, and then there you got that fabric. Cool, huh? Super simple to make. You can really dress up your homes, like decorative window coverings kind of thing. My mom works with decorators throughout the Tri-Valley here in Pleasanton, Livermore to Ruby Hills here to Danville, Alamo, Walnut Creek, Orinda, all this Tri-Valley area they call it. So thought I would just show you guys something non-musical today. I know this is some of the music, some of the work I have to get done so I can get around to doing the music thing, which I don't always have as much time for as I'd like. Yes, anyway, so I've got some equipment over here, as I mentioned, I want to hook up. I've got a little computer over here that's got, some pretty sophisticated, my cousin built it for me. My cousin Joe's a genius with this stuff. I kind of dabbled in it back in the mid 90s, and I decided, no, I don't want to be in that field. Maybe I should have stuck with it, but at that time I decided against it. And I do like working with my hands and crafting stuff. So when I get that computer hooked up to the Sapphire, the Focusrite Sapphire there, and I use the red, I think that's a first gen or second gen Focusrite 28i, no 18i6, and the other one's the 26, the Pro. So I'm going to hook up the 18i6 as like a portable recording kind of setup with a laptop that I can move around to different locations. So my audio will be better than just this lav mic, right? So thank you for all you guys watching my channel, and I guess coming in on the chats and comments. I appreciate all the comments. I especially appreciate those that are honest, that are telling me, hey, why don't you get a real mic or get a real. So I have all that equipment. I just have to have the time to put it together. So I'll get to that. And I hope to produce and create some more music you guys are going to enjoy. And I'll definitely do a demo, a real video demo like this, but with this stuff hooked up, with maybe even a better camera, hopefully, right? Because I don't even have another camera. I bought like some $38 camera at Costco that I'm hoping to use. If not, I might have to wait, or I might borrow a camcorder or something from my brother John. He's got some old camcorders that should work fine. Well, I mean, I do have a digital camera, but it's not a it's like a small Nikon kind of thing. So we'll see if that could be used. It might be. And then learn how to I have to learn how to do all the editing, and it takes time to all that. I'm just starting out on this stuff, right? So I have to learn all these processes that a lot of musical or other creative type people have to figure out how to get their stuff out there and how to use the internet and use YouTube. So I really appreciate all your comments. I don't take any of them negatively, or I have a thick skin. I take things positively. I think that whenever someone has something to say, I should try to look at maybe from their perspective what they're trying to say. A lot of times they're if they didn't care, they wouldn't say anything at all, right? So I think that it's cool that people make comments no matter what they are, unless they're just outright nasty or troll like. But other people that engage, I really appreciate that. So you know who you are. I'm not going to say any names, but I do appreciate it, and so it will happen. And we'll put something musical together later this week. All right, maybe tomorrow, maybe Wednesday, definitely before Thursday. Okay, when I do my live streams at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time with Roxy, who's still sitting on some eggs, and darn it, she laid another one, so she had 3, but we got rid of one because it kind of got a little crushed. So we got to stop the egg laying thing because it's a little not good for her. So I'll be back Thursday with Roxy, hopefully, and we'll do some music. Maybe we'll do a real nice demo of the trio, the first version trio pedal, which I bought for $50. And I haven't checked Reverb, but I bet you they're up there for around that same kind of price range, right? You should be able to pick one of these used ones up, an old version one, for that kind of money. But if you want to have a looper built in, like the second generation one has a built-in looper, I happen to have two different loopers here, and I'm going to even try using both those other loopers. I have a looper built into my Alter Ego. It's basically, God, I always forget. It's the it's the four different delays you can save. It's the TC Electronics X4, but it's the Alter Ego version of that digital delay pedal. It has a built-in looper, and then I have the digital TC looper, the mini Ditto looper. I was using that with it during the live stream yesterday on Sunday. So even though the sound sucked, once I have things hooked up through an interface like that, through a computer like that one right there, with some nice mics, things will improve, right? And it's just a matter of having the time for it. And believe it or not, part of what's been holding me up is that I actually need a second shelf here. I need another shelf up above here, about 5-6 inches above, so I can have the computer and the interfaces down below and put the speakers and the screen a little higher, mount the screen to the wall so I can tilt it to any position and put another set of speakers that I have that I want to put up there. So, and there's other stuff that I want to get done in here too. So, but bottom line is it's slowly been coming together since last August when I first did a Veda in August. It's slowly been coming together, and even though it might be slow for some, I'm glad to have it at this point. To be honest, it's a great hobby and it's a wonderful community. I've been really happy to be part of. So, see you guys on Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Don't forget, I'll try to throw up a reminder sooner than I usually do. And until then, Music Therapy Labs reminding you the secret to tone, secret to music, really, is in your mind. The feel comes from your heart. You have to put them together to make some good music, man. So you do that too. I will as well. Until next time, rock on. Music Therapy Labs out.